Amy has always been the heart of Heartland, but in season 19, something feels different. There's a quiet tension around her, the kind that grows slowly until it can no longer be ignored. Episode 7 already hinted at this shift when Amy began pulling away during moments that should have brought her comfort. She seemed distracted, weighed down, as if there was something she wanted to say but couldn't yet bring herself to speak aloud. Every frame showed a woman trying to hold everything together while something inside her threatened to fall apart. As episode 8 approaches, that tension becomes impossible to hide. The trailers show Amy standing alone near the barn, staring into the distance, almost like she's preparing herself for a conversation she has been running from. It's clear she isn't just dealing with a simple challenge, this is personal. Deeply personal. And the story hints that this truth is not something new. It's something old, something long buried, and now it's demanding to be faced. The ranch is quieter in the preview, almost too quiet. Jack watches her with worry, sensing something is wrong but respecting her space. Lindy appears more sensitive to Amy's mood than ever, which only adds more pressure. Children always feel the things adults try to hide. It's in the little moments, Amy taking long pauses before answering, her mind drifting away during conversations, her sudden hesitation while working with a horse that tell us episode 8 is building toward a powerful emotional release. Even the horses in Heartland seem to mirror Amy's inner storm. One of them acts unsettled in the teaser, refusing to calm down even with Amy's steady presence. This is unusual, almost symbolic. Amy's gift with horses has always been her strength. But when a horse senses something off, it often means the person working with it is struggling inside. This moment is a quiet hint to viewers. Amy's emotional balance is slipping, and the world around her is reacting. Episode 8 appears to center on Amy being cornered not by anyone else, but by her own truth. She has spent years trying to stay strong for everyone around her. She has carried grief, responsibility, and expectations on her shoulders. But there comes a point when even the strongest heart has to speak honestly, and the writers clearly chose episode 8 as that turning point. The buildup feels intentional, slow, and heavy, and this is why fans are calling this episode the most important moment for Amy since her major life changes earlier in the series. The camera lingers on her more often, the silence in scenes lasts a little longer, and the lighting feels softer yet heavier, almost like the show is urging us to look closer, to notice the cracks she's trying so hard to cover. It's the kind of storytelling choice that signals something big is coming. The excitement around episode 8 is not just about drama, it's about understanding Amy in a new way. For the first time in a long time, she isn't just a strong, confident horse whisperer. She's someone confronting a truth she wishes she could avoid, a truth connected to her past, her identity, and everything she has built at Heartland. And when episode 8 begins, we will finally watch that truth rise to the surface. Amy's journey through season 19 has felt like watching someone walk a long road while carrying a weight no one else can see. Each episode shows pieces of her struggle, but episode 8 is where all those quiet moments come together. It's not just about the story, it's about finally understanding what Amy has been fighting inside herself. In the episodes leading up to this one, Amy tries to keep moving forward, but the cracks in her calm start to show. She puts on a brave face for Lindy, for Jack, and for the ranch, yet her eyes reveal something different. They show tiredness, worry, and a kind of sadness that doesn't come from one event, but from years of holding back emotions she never had space to process. Viewers can sense that Amy isn't losing control, she's losing her ability to pretend everything is fine. This season pushes Amy in ways that feel very personal. She's dealing with the normal challenges of life on the ranch, but also the deeper questions. Who is she becoming? What does she truly want? What part of her past still pulls her back? These questions linger in scenes where she pauses before answering someone, or when she turns away to hide how emotional she feels. The writers are slowly peeling back layers we haven't seen in a long time. Even the new horses she works with reflect her inner conflict. One of the horses in episode 80's preview resists her guidance, something that almost never happens. Amy has always been able to understand a horse's fear, but this time, it's different. This horse's resistance feels connected to her own state of mind, almost like she's helping a reflection of herself. It's a powerful way of showing that her emotional journey is influencing everything around her. Season 19 has focused on how Amy handles the pressure of being a mother raising a daughter who looks up to her, while also trying to honor the legacy of the Fleming Bartlett family. There's a heavy responsibility in every decision she makes. But buried under all that responsibility is something much more human. Amy is still trying to understand her own heart. For years, she has pushed her own needs aside, telling herself that others need her strength more than she needs her honesty. But episode 8 is the moment this pattern begins to crack. Her conversations with Jack this season have been soft but meaningful. Jack notices everything. He sees the way Amy's smile fades quickly, how she stares off at the horizon like she's searching for something she can't name. He doesn't push her to talk, but his gentle concern is a reminder that she can't hide her feelings forever. This relationship becomes one of the emotional threads that leads her toward her truth. Lindy also plays a bigger role in Amy's emotional journey than ever before. Children sense emotions more clearly than adults, and Lindy has started asking questions that Amy isn't ready to answer. Lindy's curiosity is innocent, but it forces Amy to confront things she's ignored. Every time Lindy asks a simple question, like "Are you okay, Mom?" it becomes harder for Amy to keep her truth locked inside. Episode 8 is where all of these threads tighten. The silence she keeps, the pressure she feels, the memories she avoids, they come to the surface because she can no longer push them away. The season builds toward this with emotional precision, leading viewers to a moment where Amy must choose between continuing to hide or finally letting herself be honest. And it's clear the show wants this to be a defining moment. Amy isn't just preparing to reveal a truth. She's preparing to change her entire direction. Her journey isn't about breaking, it's about becoming real with herself again. The turning point in episode 8 arrives quietly at first, the way big emotional moments often do. There's no dramatic music, no sudden shock. Instead, it happens in a small, honest moment where Amy can no longer hide what's been inside her for so long. This is the moment fans have been waiting for, the moment Amy finally speaks the truth she has been holding in her heart. And when it happens, it changes everything. The scene begins with Amy standing alone, somewhere familiar yet heavy with emotion. Maybe it's the barn, maybe it's the paddock, or maybe it's the quiet space where she often goes to think. Wherever she is, the frame tells the story before she even opens her mouth. Her shoulders look tired. Her eyes seem full of thoughts she hasn't dared to say out loud. It feels like she's been building toward this moment since the beginning of the season, and episode 8 finally gives her the space to breathe and to break. Someone approaches her. It might be Jack, with his steady voice and deep patience. It might be Caleb, offering support without judgment. Or it might be a new character who unexpectedly becomes the person she feels safe talking to. Whoever it is, they don't pressure her. They simply show up, giving her a quiet moment where she can finally tell the truth she's been carrying alone. Then Amy starts talking, not loudly, not with anger, but with a soft, shaking honesty. She admits something she has been afraid to face, something tied to her past, something that shaped her choices, or something she tried to bury because the pain felt too big to handle. This truth could be about her fears as a mother, or doubts about her future, or unresolved feelings that she never knew how to express. The exact words don't matter as much as the emotion behind them. It's the first time viewers truly see her vulnerable in a long time. Her voice may crack. Her eyes may fill with tears she didn't expect. She might pause in the middle of a sentence because the truth is heavier than she thought it would be. And in that moment, Amy stops being the strong, unshakable woman everyone expects. She becomes real, human, and deeply relatable. This is why the scene hits harder than almost any other moment this season. It's Amy finally letting herself feel. The person listening doesn't try to solve her problems. They don't interrupt or give her advice. They simply let her speak. This silence, this gentle support, is what makes the scene powerful. For the first time, Amy isn't carrying everything alone. She lets someone see the part of her she usually hides, the fear, the doubt, the longing, the unspoken grief, or the emotional scars she never fully healed from. What makes this revelation so important is not just what she says, it's what it frees her from. The moment the truth leaves her lips, something shifts inside her. The weight she's been holding finally begins to lift. She breathes differently. Her shoulders relax. And even though nothing around her physically changes, you can feel that something inside her does. Amy's truth doesn't just change her, it changes the entire direction of Heartland. Episode 8 becomes the emotional doorway that the rest of Season 19 must walk through. Once Amy finally speaks the truth she's been hiding, there's no going back to who she was before. And that shift sends out ripples through every relationship, every storyline, and every quiet corner of the ranch. The moment after her confession feels different. The air seems lighter, yet charged with new energy. For the first time in a long time, Amy isn't trapped inside her silence. She has opened a path toward healing, even if the path ahead is unpredictable. This is where the emotional arc of the season becomes clearer. Heartland is no longer just telling the story of a strong woman surviving challenges. It's telling the story of a woman finally allowing herself to feel them. This revelation creates immediate change with Jack. Jack has always been her anchor, steady and gentle, but now he becomes something even more important. The person who helps her rebuild. His support doesn't come in dramatic speeches, it comes in small moments, in the way he stands beside her, listens to her, and gives her space. Their bond deepens, reminding viewers of the early seasons when Jack helped young Amy find her strength after her mother passed. Now, years later, he helps her find her emotional truth again. Her relationship with Lindy evolves too. Children sense emotional shifts faster than adults, and Lindy becomes even more connected to her mother. Episode 8 opens the door for Amy to be more honest with her daughter, not in a heavy way, but in a gentle, real way. Lindy becomes a silent reminder of why Amy must keep going, not out of duty, but out of love. Amy's truth shows Lindy that it's okay to be vulnerable, okay to feel scared, and okay to ask for help. This becomes one of the most heartfelt themes for the rest of the season. There are also consequences for Amy's relationships outside her family. Friends like Caleb, Lisa, and even newcomers recognize the shift in her. She begins to interact differently, more open, more aware of her own emotional needs. This change might cause some tension, especially with characters who are used to Amy taking on everything without asking for support. But it also forms new connections, new conversations, and maybe even new opportunities for Amy's future. Her work with horses takes on a deeper level of meaning after the revelation. For years, Amy has helped horses heal, calm their fears, and find trust again. But now, viewers watch her do the same for herself. Episode 8 might show her hesitating, taking slower steps, or being more thoughtful with the horses she trains. This isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign that she's learning to acknowledge her own emotional wounds instead of hiding behind her gift. And ironically, this honesty makes her even more powerful as a horse whisperer. Story-wise, Episode 8 sets up several new paths that the season will follow. Amy's truth could spark a storyline about her redefining her life, exploring new goals, or confronting old memories she pushed aside. It may create tension with someone close to her or bring someone unexpected back into her life. Heartland is known for slow-burning emotional arcs, and this revelation becomes the spark for the next big turning point. The ranch itself feels different after Amy's truth comes out. Heartland has always symbolized healing, family, and second chances. Now, it becomes the place where Amy finally decides to heal herself, not just everyone around her. This shift changes how she approaches daily life, how she manages the ranch, and how she protects her own heart. The environment around her becomes a reflection of her growth, quieter moments, deeper conversations, more meaningful choices, and this is where Episode 9 and beyond take their biggest step. Amy's truth forces other characters to adjust. Some will step closer to her with support. Others may pull away, unsure of how to handle her change. These emotional shifts shape the second half of Season 19, adding depth and new conflicts that will keep fans glued to the story. But the most important change is what happens inside Amy. By revealing her truth, she finally stops running from herself. She begins to heal in ways she never allowed before. She becomes stronger not because she hides her pain, but because she faces it. And this new version of Amy will guide the rest of the season toward powerful emotional moments that fans have been waiting for. Episode 8 isn't just a key moment. It's the moment that sets the entire future of Heartland in motion. Amy's revelation in episode 8 doesn't simply end with her speaking the truth. In fact, it's only the beginning. Once her hidden emotions finally surface, the entire rhythm of life at Heartland starts to shift. The ranch, the family, the friendships, everything begins to move in a new direction. This is the part of the season that shows how one honest moment can change the way an entire family breathes. The aftermath begins quietly, almost the way a deep storm clears the sky. Amy wakes up the next morning different. She isn't magically healed, but she's no longer weighed down by the tight knot she kept inside. She feels lighter, even if the world around her hasn't changed much. Her steps are slower but more grounded. Her voice carries a softness that wasn't there before. It's like she finally gave herself permission to stop pretending. And this shift affects everyone who loves her. Jack notices it first. He's the character who always watches, always listens even when others don't. When Amy walks into the barn the day after her confession, Jack sees something in her eyes, a calm that hasn't been there in a long time. He doesn't ask questions. Instead, he offers her silent understanding, the same kind he once gave when she was a grieving teenager trying to find her way. This small moment between them becomes the emotional anchor for the rest of the episode. Jack becomes her steady ground, reminding her that she's not walking through this alone. Lindy feels the change too. Children sense emotional shifts like echoes, and Lindy immediately picks up on her mother's softer presence. She starts asking different questions, more curious and tender. Amy responds with more patience than before, allowing Lindy to see the human side of her that she once kept hidden. Their interactions become some of the most heartfelt moments in the story. Amy's honesty creates a deeper bond with Lindy, teaching her that strength is not about silence, it's about speaking your heart. The extended family also reacts in ways that surprise Amy. Lisa becomes more protective, offering warmth and comfort without making Amy feel fragile. Tim, depending on how the writers handle his role this season, may respond with awkward support, trying to be helpful even if he doesn't fully understand the emotional weight of Amy's truth. These reactions add depth to the family dynamic, showing how each member handles vulnerability differently. Amy's friends feel the shift as well. Caleb becomes more present, checking in without overstepping. Their conversations change. Instead of focusing only on ranch work or daily tasks, they share moments of genuine friendship. This gives Amy room to talk about things she once avoided. It also pushes Caleb to reflect on his own struggles, making their friendship stronger and more balanced. But the deepest transformation happens inside Amy's own mind. Once the truth is out, she begins seeing the world and herself through a different lens. She starts asking questions she never allowed herself to entertain. What does she truly want for her future? What dreams did she put aside because she thought she had to be strong for everyone else? What parts of herself has she been ignoring? These questions don't create chaos, they create possibility. Instead of fear, Amy begins to feel curiosity. Instead of self-pressure, she feels release. Her work with the horses becomes symbolic of her own journey. When she helps a nervous horse overcome fear, she understands that she, too, is learning to trust again. When a horse resists guidance, she sees her old habit of holding back emotions. These subtle moments turn everyday ranch life into powerful emotional storytelling. Because of her truth, Amy starts making small choices that hint at big changes ahead. She might take on a new project she once feared. She may open up about memories she avoided for years. She might even allow herself to explore feelings she kept locked away. These choices shape the last stretch of the season in ways viewers won't expect, giving the story new energy and emotional depth. The aftermath of her revelation also affects Heartland as a whole. The ranch becomes more than a place of responsibility and tradition. It becomes the space where Amy finally gives herself permission to grow, to change, to let go of the old version of herself. This shift invites new storylines, new challenges, and new emotional journeys for the characters around her. And while not every relationship reacts smoothly because emotional truth always creates waves, it's clear that episode 8 marks the point where Amy's heart begins to truly heal. It sets the stage for a second half of season 19 filled with deeper questions, meaningful choices, and unexpected connections. Amy's truth doesn't break Heartland. It rebuilds it, starting with her.